It looks like the first spot XRP ETF is about to go live tomorrow. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, where did this come from? We've been waiting for a spot XRP ETF forever. Now this one's just popping out tomorrow. Well, guys, in this video, I want to talk about exactly what's going on here because it's actually super interesting, and as well get into some crazy XRP price targets at the end of the video. Guys, this should be an interesting one, so make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'm going to start this video off and jump right into the spot XRP ETF, because guys, when I first saw this headline, it kind of caught me off guard. Now, I'm going to sit back and take some credit here. I was on the record for a while saying I thought the XRP spot ETFs would go live about mid-September, and it looks like we have the first XRP spot ETF going live mid-September. Now, what's so interesting is that this really hasn't gotten a lot of attention. If we take a look at what's going on here, we can see that the XRP spot ETF is set to go live tomorrow, but there hasn't been a lot of talk about it. It kind of just snuck up on everyone. And the reason why I think it's kind of snuck up on everyone is because the company that filed for this spot XRP ETF is kind of a less known company. It's a company called Osprey. Now, they've been launching a whole bunch of ETFs recently for cryptocurrencies, and they're just trying to make a name for themselves, right? They did the smart thing and said, hey, well, while everyone else sits on the sidelines and takes too long, we'll beat everyone in, grab a good ticker, and get this started so we get the initial flows. Genius move by Osprey, I mean, to get ahead of this. And now thinking back, I do remember them being the first people to file. And it looks like because of that, they are going to have the first XRP spot ETF on the market outside of a random late objection by the SEC. Haven't seen any objection yet. This is slated to go live tomorrow. I highly doubt we'll see an objection come in. So it looks like we will have the first XRP spot ETF going live tomorrow. Now, my personal expectation is that the flows from this one aren't going to be massive just because it's a little bit of a less known company who filed it, but it's still a huge, great indication that is going to cause a lot of people to say, okay, we need to hurry up and get this over the finish line, or we're going to be losing the ETF race to someone that no one even knew about prior to a couple of months ago. So this is how you really get that snowball effect coming in. Everyone's going to be sitting on the sidelines saying, wait, why did we get beat by this person? We need to hurry up and roll out our XRP spot ETF, or essentially all the net inflows are going to start going to this Osprey fund. And we're going to be sitting there saying, well, what's better about our ETF than theirs? Theirs is bigger. More people are going to go to it. So really good sign. Honestly, took me a little off guard. I completely forgot that this thing was in the pipeline. It's weird how these things are filed. They sort of just file it, wait for the SEC to object, and if they don't object, it kind of sneaks up and just goes live. So that's what happened here. It looks like it just snuck up on everyone, and now we have this XRP spot ETF planned to go live tomorrow. Now, real quick, what a spot XRP ETF is just an XRP ETF that actually holds XRP. There's futures-based ETFs that are already live, which essentially just give you exposure to XRP's price movements, but you're not really sucking XRP off the circulating supply. What this spot ETF does is actually goes out and purchases XRP. So it's going to be a big demand driver. It's going to be huge for net inflows into XRP. It's going to be a big price driver, and we're going to get a lot into price at the end of the video. But maybe even more importantly than anything, it's happening very quickly and should be live tomorrow, bringing new people into the XRP ecosystem. Now, like I said, I don't think this is going to be as big as a Fidelity spot XRP ETF or a BlackRock spot XRP ETF, right? But this is the kind of thing that's going to light a fire under them and let them know, hey, we can't sit and delay on this much longer. And guys, the reason why this is all happening so quickly is because we have a brand new SEC chair, Paul Atkins. Now, this is someone who I can tell you is very bullish on XRP. I can't share too much about this, but I know he's very bullish on XRP. And I just want you to listen to him talk about the cryptocurrency market, because we listened to a lot of Gary Gensler over the past couple years, and just it's beautiful to hear this guy talk. Listen to what Paul Atkins has to say, the current head of the SEC.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we must admit that crypto's time has come. For too long, the SEC has weaponized its investigatory subpoena and enforcement authorities to subvert the crypto industry. That approach was not only ineffective, but injurious. It drove jobs, innovation, and capital overseas. American entrepreneurs bore the brunt and have been forced to spend fortunes on building a legal defense instead of a business. And today, ladies.
So guys, I think it's so cool to hear that. I mean, it's literally music to our ears. This is all we've been asking for the past 4 years. We're not asking for special treatment. We're not asking for no rules for cryptocurrency, right? We're just asking for some common sense, right? Some guidelines, some framework, something that we can build a productive environment in the United States. When we're talking about financial technology in the financial capital of the world, look, we have to get this right, but we need rules and guidelines, right? The financial industry is highly regulated. Just give us some rules, give us some guidelines, give us something to build within to make a safe, productive, and efficient environment for the growth of what will likely be one of the most powerful, important technologies in the entire world. Paul Adkins gets it, and I feel so good as being a cryptocurrency investor with someone at the helm like Paul Adkins who actually understands this stuff and is looking to make America a better place and looking to keep us competitive, grow the industry in a way that is going to be safe, efficient, and something that is going to allow cryptocurrency to live up to its full potential. This has been an incredible rollout, in my opinion, under the Trump administration. Have things moved as fast as everyone has wanted? Maybe not. Have things moved 10 times faster than I ever thought they would move? Absolutely. Guys, look, I was very excited about this current administration stepping in and being pro-crypto, but I thought it was going to be, we're pro-crypto during the election, and then, maybe towards the end of the term, we'll start rolling out some of the promises. But this has been a huge highlight of the administration. They hired people who actually care, people who actually get this stuff, and are committed to making a difference. That's not something you see a lot in politics, so I am extremely happy about the progress we've seen thus far, and listening to people like Paul Adkins talk only makes me more excited. With that said, I want to get into some pretty crazy XRP speculation. Guys, one of the things that's always bothered me about kind of these high price targets for XRP is sort of how people come out in arms about them, but people don't come out in arms about Bitcoin projections. And earlier today, Digital Asset Investor actually put out a post. He said, Fidelity predicts a 1 billion Bitcoin by 2030. AI predicts, if this happens, a $25,000 XRP in that scenario. Now, what's so interesting about this entire price prediction era is people like Fidelity, people like Cathie Wood, these people put out these massive Bitcoin projections, right? $1 billion Bitcoins, $5 billion Bitcoins, right? They put out these huge projections. And yet when someone comes out with $100, $1,000 XRP, everyone starts to say, that's so unrealistic, that could never happen. Guys, if we had a $1 billion Bitcoin, we're going to have a triple to 4-digit XRP. It's just the fact of the matter. And if Fidelity can come out with a $1 billion Bitcoin projection, I don't see why it's crazy to say that XRP couldn't be $1,000 in that scenario. We're talking about an exponential, hyperbolic growth trajectory of this entire asset class. Now, is that guaranteed because Fidelity said it? Is that any more likely than it was before Fidelity said that? No, absolutely not. But I think it's important to realize, guys, it's not just people in the XRP community putting out these crazy high price targets, right? We have financial institutions, the likes of Fidelity, putting out just as high and just as bullish projections. They just happen to be for Bitcoin. And that should make you super optimistic on the growth of this entire asset class. If Bitcoin goes to $1 billion, guess what? XRP is going to be an astronomically high price at that point. So just understand, just because someone throws out a high number, well, one, doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen, right? Anything could happen. I say this all the time. If XRP reaches what I think it can do over the next decade, I think we're going to see an XRP that is going to blow people's minds with how high it can go. But if XRP doesn't ever materialize into the things I think it can do, right, it's not going to reach those prices. So success has to happen. You have to have success of the protocol. But I don't think enough people fully understand that this asset class, the sky's the limit. We're talking about tokenization of every other asset class in history, something we've never seen before. I believe the market caps of these cryptocurrencies are going to reach things that no one thought was possible before. They're going to set records for the most valuable assets on the planet. And I think XRP is going to be one of the assets to capture a lot of that market cap. So if XRP is successful, like I think it can be, I don't have any problem with Fidelity coming out with a $1 billion Bitcoin price target. I don't have anything wrong with a $1,000 XRP price target. I think that's where these things go over the long extended time period. How long does that take to hit? Is it next year? Is it 10 years? Who knows? But the fact of the matter is if XRP is successful, it will be an astronomically higher price than it is today. And with that said, I want to finish this video off with one last thing, and that's the current XRP price movement. Guys, we've been in this consolidation pattern for a bit. We're closing it out. Ali Charts put out what I believe is the current pattern XRP is in, so I just figured I'd share his chart. Either XRP is going to break out to the upside right here and start moving to 370, or it's going to consolidate one more time, go back to this $270, $280 level, chop around for a couple more weeks, and then pop out. This is the two outcomes I see. XRP spot ETFs coming. Everything's incredibly bullish. Things look great. I think we're just at the start of a lot of the momentum. Clarity is coming. Rules are being passed. XRP's never looked better. And I think the chart looks pretty damn good as well. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. And for now, Mickle out.